I am Greg Kahn. I am going to go over table view in a Telerik grid component and form view, seeing things in a vertical format. So I am going to use our student progression system, which is still in development. So without further ado, let me go into our staging site. It's going to bring up our login screen. I can log in with my user ID and password, but I'm also set up to log in with my IP address. So I'll click on IP login. It says here, you logged in successfully with your IP. So I'll go ahead and click the OK button and voila. Here's our acceptance testing staging site. So over here we have SPS, which stands for Student Progression System. So I am going to click on Student Progression, this very first link, and it's going to bring up a Telerik grid component. So notice it's going to come up a little slow, and that's because we have something like 130 plus fields here. And we have 121 records here for cohort 2023. So it's to select your cohorts. We have here 2023 and 24. We'll eventually have more cohorts. I think 2025 coming up pretty soon. Yeah, so normally if I have something like 10, 20,000 records, I'll show 30 records at a time, and I'll be able to click this guy here, go forward, next 30, next 30, next 30, or go back the next 30. But because for our cohorts, we have usually about 120 to, I don't know, 130, 140 students max, we might as well just put them in one page here. So we have all 121 students, in this case for the class of 2023, in one page. And again, we have 121 fields. That's why it takes some time to bring up this interface. Notice all these courses. And to edit a course, all you have to do is click on a field. You can edit multiple records at a time. It's called batch editing. It brings up a pull down, a drop down, and I can, so for example, select BP for Borderline Pass and click Save Changes, and it's going to save my changes. You'll see it right up here. Save successful. And you can delete records too as well. Just click on delete. It's going to ask for confirmation. You click OK, but I'll cancel out. So notice we have test records here. They're all Stephen Curry. I don't have actual students here. And I have, for my notes, they all say, Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. And Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Where's the pack of pickled peppers? Peter Piper picked. So, and to add a record, you would click here to add a record. But notice, so once you have something like 100, 130 fields, it makes more sense to me to just, if you can, just in this case, just take out the courses. And if you want to see it, the courses for a particular student, just filter for that student or search that student, and then look at that record in form view in a vertical format. It's just easier to see a single record if you have a lot of fields in form view. We'll show you that in a bit. So I just want to show you how when you have a lot of fields, you can go here and you have, if you had to tab all the way over to all these guys here, it's just a lot of fields. It's just not easy to, it's not as user friendly. So let me just cancel out of here. And let me go into a grid, a second grid, which you see here, grid 2 short version. I'm going to click over here and notice that this grid interface, it comes up a lot faster. It's done right now. And that's because I took out the courses here. You only see numbers in here. Numbers, you can see totals, average, max, but the courses aren't there anymore because there's no need to have them if I can see them in form view. So for example, let me just check some through these guys here and save my changes. It's going to say save successful, and I'm going to filter on these guys. I can filter. Let's true, filter on that, on the check marks here. And I can pull up a report here, student note report for the filtered records. And I can, voila. Again, they're all Stephen Curry. This is test data. We don't have the actual students here. They all say Peter Parker, Peppers. And this is, again, this is reporting services where you can export to various formats, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, and print it out as well. Pretty cool. And before I show you FormView, how a record will look like in FormView, I just want to show you something. We can save a grid state. So what do I mean by saving a grid state? We can click here. So if I move off this page, let's go somewhere. How about graphs? Let's just pick a graph. Some data visualization. Okay, so this is for 2023, 121 students. 2024, we have 132 students. As we have more cohorts, you can see more vertical bars here in this case. So if you, the cool thing about this Telluride grid, graph, and this grid here is that if you filter on this grid, it's going to be reflected on this chart here, this graph here. And you have different chart types. You can look at it in the horizontal, pie chart, donut. And you can select objects too as well. I can just click here, you see it up here, and if I click to get this object, there's only two data points here. It totals it up, and I can deselect, and pretty slick. So you have that ability to, you can get these values, click on it, you can pass it to parameters for other applications, you can save it to your database, the values that you select, or you can drill down to, pass parameters or pass those values and drill down to other dashboards, other graphs. Pretty cool. So there's a lot of cool stuff. Before I get carried away, let's go back. So if I go back to the grid, it's going to remember my filtered grid state. And that's because I clicked on Save Grid State. Pretty slick. And if I wanted to get all my records back, no worries. All I have to do is click on Reset Grid State. Voila, get all my records back. And remember to click on Reset Grid State, because if you save a grid state and you forget to click on Reset Grid State, what's going to happen is that, and you close this application. Next morning, you bring up this application on grid 2, in this case, you're going to only see 3 records. You're going to say, hey, what happened to all my other records, right? So remember once you're done, if you're going to save a grid state, remember once you're done, click on Reset Grid State. And there are times, let me filter on this guy again. Filter on the check marks. It's true, it's checked. If you don't, there's no need to save your grid state. You're not going to move off the page, and you want all your records back. You can just click on Reload, and you get all your records back. Pretty cool. So let's look at something in FormView. Let's look at student records for this student here. Again, they're all Stephen Curry, but okay. You'll see it in a vertical format. It's so much easier to see. You have your notes here. It's just, and you have your attachments too as well. Everything's at your fingertips. If it's an image file, I can just click on it to see it. Pretty slick. If I wanted to print this out, all I have to do is go to my flyout menu, click on Print or Save to PDF. It's going to give me a page preview. And notice that it hid the attachments in flyout menu up here, so it's really clean. So I can save it to my PDF, or I can print it out to a printer here. Pretty slick. So let me cancel out here. Here's Stephen Curry. I can click on the student, get a big headshot here. Close this. What else? Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So I can, if I want my attachments, notice it's gone, and my flyout menu is gone here. I can refresh or reload, just click here, voila, get it back. Or I could have right-clicked here and clicked on reload. So let me close this guy. So if you want to edit your courses, easy peasy, or your grades at the category or at the detailed level, come here, go to Edit Student Grades, easy peasy, and yeah, you see your attachments here. I can change, they're all drop down. I can change to Y. I can say pass again or something. There's notes here. I just put test. So you get the picture, and then just click on save. and save successful. So it saved everything. My test. So I can close this. You can also add a record to add student, and this is in form view as well. You have attachments. This is optional, and these are drop downs. You can enter this information here, and if you inadvertently click add student before adding anything here, it has validations. For example, if I just click here, it's going to say must contain AEC ID number, so you have to put that here, and also last name and first name. So you get the picture here. So easy please, it's easy to see, easy to edit, as opposed to going to table view and having to tab to 130 fields. So this is much easier. So that's the advantage of form view. So I do like table view for if you don't have that many fields. It's, we use that a lot. So let's go back to our grid. Again, now that we don't have as many fields in the second grid, it's going to come up much faster. What else is there to talk about? We have help videos. If I click here, so the first time you go into your help video, so we're using UCSF Box right now. You're going to see this right here. It's going to say it's very secure, and you have to continue. As long as you VPN in, you're going to see this. In order to go to the website, you have to VPN in. Right here, all you do is log in. So you only do this once, but again, you do this for security reasons. Close this guy, and you get your video. Voila. Pretty cool. And you can download it. So the second time, until you log off your computer or log off your VPN and you cancel your VPN, if you click on it again, this is, sorry, the help button, help video, it's not gonna go through the login process. It only does that once for security reasons. So I used to use YouTube. And one thing I liked about YouTube is you can have timelines, right? You can click on a link to go to certain sections of your video. You don't have that with UCSF Box, but you do have the security. You also have security in YouTube as well, but this is within UCSF. We want to keep everything within UCSF. So yeah, so I can close this guy. We also have a learning center. So let me go back home here. There's a learning center here. I can click here, have videos here. Let's see here, this is on Telerik. So I have a bunch of stuff here. This is for YouTube, this is Tableau. And this middle one here, I have it set up to go into to get the video from UCSF Box with our security. So it's very secure videos. I can just click on it, and because I already logged in that one time, the very first time, I don't have to. You'll see the video right here. I can click on it to see it. Here's share case I did a while back. So yeah, here's our learning center. That's going to be helpful. So I think I finished everything. I hope this makes sense. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. F9.